Good evening, everyone, and you're most welcome to this occasion. We will be launching the CUT AI Hub of AISA. AISA is Artificial Intelligence Institute of South Africa. At the moment, there are only 2 hubs that currently running. The first one to be launched was for the University of Johannesburg. The second one was at TUT, and we're very happy that the third one is CUT. The event is taking place tomorrow, but tonight we're doing high-level roundtable discussion to set the scene. We've been given the mandate to run our hub based on agriculture because the Free State is known to be the food basket of the country. So I have high-level participants in this roundtable discussion. We have our Vice Chancellor, Professor Pamela Dube. We have our 2 Deputy Vice Chancellors, one in charge of teaching and learning, and the second one, Professor Ngowi, who is in charge of research, innovation, and engagement. So I'd like to kick off the roundtable discussion with brief notes that's first going to be given by Professor Ngowi. We will also invite Professor Pamela Dube to set the scene for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director. Good evening to everyone who is participating here. I'd like to give our appreciation to our Vice Chancellor and Principal for being able to be with us here. And my colleagues, the DVC for research, for teaching and learning, Professor Ngidi, and we have got deans from faculties, and everybody who is here. Our effort for having Artificial Intelligence Institute hub started a long time ago. Precisely, it is about 2019, where we followed the lead given by the President of the country to implement the report on the Commission of Fourth Industrial Revolution. The Commission recommended that there should be an institute for artificial intelligence. But in the run-up to that, we started in the province by realizing that we cannot only talk about the Fourth Industrial Revolution at the institution. We need to work with the partners, and we partnered with the provincial government to host the first Fourth Industrial Revolution Summit. That was November 2019. At that summit, it was made very clear that we needed to identify technologies which are going to run in the Free State. And 4 technologies were identified at that first summit. One was the additive manufacturing, which CUT is known for. The second one was robotics. Then we have extended reality. Then we had the digital twin. But the key technology which was identified at that time is artificial intelligence. So after that summit, we partnered with Microsoft to make sure that we developed a program which demystified the artificial intelligence so that it doesn't become a technology for elites. It is a technology which even person in the village will be able to identify issues which artificial intelligence can assist. So fast forward, then we arranged the second, that's Fourth Industrial Revolution Summit. That was July 2022. And at that summit, it was to showcase what we had done since the first summit. And we are very glad to indicate that the technology had reached a level where the Minister of Communication Digital Technology said that really CUT has to go to the next level of operation. And that's how we identified that we formed the party of the hub of the Artificial Intelligence Institute of South Africa. So with that, like you indicated, the program director, this today's discussion is a preparation now for tomorrow's official launching of the center.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Prof, I would like to welcome the Vice Chancellor, Professor Dube, on our behalf, please.
So then we would like to take this opportunity then to formally invite our Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Pamela Dube, who has been very enthusiastic about technology. And not only technology per se, but also the human aspect of technology. She has been very instrumental in making sure that the vision, CUT vision of being a leading African University of Technology, leading the future through innovation, we live by our own vision. And she has brought in the element now, as we are using technology, we must always be mindful of the human aspect. We are in the process of establishing a center, generally known as a machine-human interaction, and we are at a very advanced level of establishing the center. So with that note, I would like to request you to join me in welcoming our Vice Chancellor to give opening remarks.
Thank you very much, colleagues. Thank you very much, Prof. Ngoyi. To all our esteemed panel members, all our guests, faculty representatives, faculty deans, our partners in government and industry, our dynamic youth, including our SRC president of Bloemfontein campus. We are happy that you are also here to represent the youth. Our students are very important in everything that we do at this institution. And of course, I need to also acknowledge our partners in AISA, the University of Johannesburg and the Tshwane University of Technology. I am very honored to welcome all of you to this roundtable discussion tonight, which is titled Empowering Youth with AI for Agricultural Advancement in South Africa's Central Region. As you've heard, tomorrow will be this is just a precursor to tomorrow's major launch that we're very excited about as we launched in our CUT hub of the Artificial Intelligence Institute of South Africa. So just to set the scene, I'd like to just start with the whole fusion of AI and agriculture, a vision for transformation. The university is very, very much at the forefront of integrating technology with human-centered solutions for societal advancement. And our agenda, especially for this year, a very important year for us as we celebrate our 20th anniversary, we want to use the opportunity to highlight and restate our commitment to employing technological innovations to tackle critical societal issues, and with the spotlight on agriculture, which is a sector that's crucial to both our region and nation. The inception of Artificial Intelligence of Institute of South Africa Hub at our university underscores our dedication to transform agricultural practices through artificial intelligence. Our ambition extends beyond improving productivity and sustainability. We aim to mobilize the youth, furnishing them with the necessary tools and knowledge to spearhead this revolution. Empowering youth is at the heart of our mission. Reflecting on the interplay between technology and humanity at a technological university, the youth's role in fostering innovation is undeniable. We are committed to nurturing their AI competencies, pivotal for the agricultural progression of South Africa's central region. envisioning a future steered by young innovators and entrepreneurs, we foresee a sustainable and technology-driven solutions to agricultural hurdles. And now to our collaborations for sustainable development. I just want to highlight that our initiative is in harmony with both national and local developmental strategies, signifying our strategic role within South Africa's digital and AI industries. It represents a united endeavor among academic institutions, the government and the private sector to cultivate an ecosystem ripe for innovation. Our ambition is broad, aiming to leverage AI's potential across various sectors, thus paving the way for a smarter, sustainable future. This includes efforts in natural language processing and preservation, specifically targeting AI solutions for local languages such as Sesotho and Afrikaans, and in smart manufacturing with a focus on smart drug discovery. Now to the role of CUT's AISA Hub. The AISA Hub at CUT is set to become a pioneering center for AI research and its practical applications. Our initial focus on smart agriculture is just the beginning of our journey to tackle societal issues through innovative and sustainable technology. This hub will act as a nucleus of knowledge, innovation, and collaboration, enabling our youth and stakeholders to leverage AI for societal betterment. As we commence our journey then, I encourage all stakeholders, students, academics, industry partners, and government representatives to engage in this transformative quest. Together, we can forge a future where technology and humanity intersect to effect meaningful societal transformation. So I urge you that we collaborate, innovate, and empower our youth to lead South Africa towards becoming a front runner in AI-enabled agricultural progress. In conclusion, I eagerly anticipate that the discussion and insights that will arise from this evening's roundtable will help us to capitalize on this opportunity to establish a robust foundation for a future where AI and agriculture co-evolve, promoting growth, sustainability, and societal welfare. Ki a leboga. Thank you, and baie dankie.
Thank you very much, Prof, for setting the scene for us. As Prof Gowi said, we've been preparing for this for slightly over 1 year. And we worked very closely, especially with the faculty deans, who are represented by assistant deans in charge of research and innovation. But before I start off the panel, I'd like to welcome one of our collaborators. He's also a visiting professor, Professor Ramakrishna. He's supposed to join us from Singapore via a video link. Just want to check if he's ready for us.
Hello. Seram?
I'm online, but you need to unmute me.
hold on.
Prof, we can see you now. I don't know if you're able to speak to us.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Clear. Thank you.
Wonderful. I'd like to, first of all, congratulate CUT as well as South Africa for taking this very timely initiative to pursue CUT Hub of Artificial Intelligence Institute of South Africa. Is absolutely very important. That's because South Africa is one of the most progressive country in Africa, and it has a bright future. I have several slides, but since time is limited, I will explain why I say this is very important for you from the experience of Singapore. As you all know, Singapore is now one of the richest country on per capita basis in the world. Being a rich country, we are constantly looking at how to stay ahead of the competition. And we noted recently International Monetary Fund, World Bank, World Economic Forum stated in the next 10 to 15 years, 60% of the jobs in the high income countries will be influenced by artificial intelligence. I repeat, 60% of the jobs. So what it means is it affects university graduates around the world. CUT is a university, so are many universities in South Africa. When you graduate your students, they are going to experience what we foresee in Singapore. Singapore started artificial intelligence hub about 7 years ago, 2017. We are on our way to train more than 15,000 AI specialists, and they would be trained so that we can transform our economic roadmap involving finance sector, banking sector, agriculture, urban farming, logistics, advanced manufacturing. So this has been pursued by encouraging all the universities in Singapore. A net result is, in terms of the artificial intelligence intensity, Singapore comes right after United States and China. In terms of scale of artificial intelligence, of course, large countries will be ahead of Singapore. All this information primarily to share that any progressive country must have two important directions. One is artificial intelligence, other one is sustainability and circular economy. So I believe you are taking the right step, and I wish you a lot more momentum, and so that you could be the beacon for other emerging countries in south of the world. I wish you a good meeting, good deliberations, and hopefully more international collaborations in East Asia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. That means a lot to us. And we hope out of the 15,000 you've trained, we can learn from them through some exchange of students. Thank you. Colleagues, we were to be joined by someone from the department, the host of AISA, Mr. Alfred Mashishi. He just confirmed that he's online. Check for me in the meantime. He can come in just after our colleague from the Free State Provincial Government. So in our midst, we have Mr. Bandile Ntombela, who is here to represent the provincial government, who is our really the right-hand collaborator all the time. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prof. Good evening, Professor Dube, Professor Ngowi, the TVC, and the colleagues. It's truly an honor to participate in this conversation. The provincial government and the Central University of Technology come quite a long way in collaborating, especially on the complex issue of the fourth industrial revolution. So my input today will be slightly offhand. I'm employed as a director for information and communication technology in the Free State Department of Health. So I'm part of the system that provides public health care. So my input is not necessarily on agriculture, but all those that do agriculture depend on us to stay alive. So I figure. Artificial intelligence presents an enormous opportunity for a public health sector that is under a lot of strain. And let me contextualize that a bit. We service 2.4 million people of the 3 million people in this province, with a budget of just under 13 billion rands. 72% of that budget is dedicated to paying salaries, and whatever is left we use to buy medicine, we use for health technology, for blood services and national laboratory services. We are under strain. It is interesting that I make this remark at an institution of higher learning, because we are all quite aware of the economic challenges that South Africa is confronted with. Nevertheless, in such a sector that is under strain as public health care, probably multifolded by the challenges around governance. In fact, the big elephant in the room, as far as we are concerned, is now the national health insurance, as you would have it, universal health coverage. So what is the role of artificial intelligence in all of that? Prof, the three biggest challenges you find not only in public health care today, but certainly in any health setting in an emerging country today, are provision of what we call emergency medical services. Now, this is the request for ambulances and providing health care closest to our population. In the Free State, we have got what is termed a medical legal bill that increases 30% annually for medical negligence as a result of incidents that happen at the EMS service level. Our current exposure of the medical legal bill is around 5.6 billion rand. So if we were to pay all of those medical claims, half of the health budget in the province would be dissipated. So what's the role of artificial intelligence in emergency medical care? We currently allocate limited resources of ambulances as well as EMS personnel And I say this with shame, we use intuition to allocate ambulances and EMS personnel across the province. Now, in the age of consumer-based artificial intelligence, we can aggregate all of the data that we're collecting to help us spread these resources equitably so we are able to respond to the greatest emergencies at the right times. That is just but one use case where AI can really bring a lot of value in our setting. The second use case I want to talk about, and it's something that is quite topical, and I think most of us, especially colleagues in universities, are probably very exposed to, is this whole issue of generative AI or human language AI or these chatbots. Our partners, Microsoft, have launched what they call the Copilot, which brings mainstream AI in front of productivity suites. You've got Gemini from Google, you've got Claude from the Amazon, and you've got all these other tools. So what can we use those for in order to assist us with public health? Some of the challenges of patients presenting themselves in public health facilities today can be resolved at home level. So if I'm Badile Ntombela here and I come from a town called Tweeling, Mafatlaneng in the eastern parts of the Free State, if I feel that my heart rate is beating in an unusual fashion and my eyes are pulsating, for example, if I were to be exposed to an AI chatbot at that level that I can interact with, it can help me triage some of my challenges before I even visit a health facility and possibly even connect me to a doctor located remotely. So those are just but a few of the use cases that we can use of artificial intelligence to harness public health. Nevertheless, we support the initiative holistically. We always want to associate ourselves with institutions that are ahead of the curve. CUT has really made us proud for launching the program. And I speak on behalf of my boss, Ms. Khadija Brown, who could not join us this evening, when I say that the provincial government is most proud of this collaboration, and we are always ready, open, and willing to foster this relationship in order to strengthen what we seek to achieve with the hub. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Clearly, we didn't consult you enough, so we will expand our concept to include what you just said. Just check one more time if Mr. Mashishi is able to join us. Mr. Mashishi, can you hear us?
Yeah, are you able to see?
Okay, now I know this hub, we co-own it, so without you, you might take your half, and the hub may end up being a half, so we're glad to see you. Over to you, Ntate.
Okay. I'd like to firstly apologize for not being there physically. I'm in the Free State. I've just landed, and I thought it's important that I join the meeting virtually so I don't miss the bigger part. I think I've been able to catch the probe from Singapore and the comments from the Free State. So I just need to indicate the following. If you recall, in 2021, as a Department of Communication and Digital Technologies, we set up a commission that would look at the fourth industrial revolution technologies, 12 of them, and then we wanted to have an understanding on how they can be able to enhance our economic growth and social prospects. And that commission had to look at the technologies that are affecting the physical side, which is robotics, AI, and those that are affecting the biological aspects, such as nanotechnology, and those that are dealing with the digitalization, which requires internet. And the commission then came out with 8 recommendations, which were approved by Cabinet. These recommendations are sort of reinforcing each other. but there's one that we are dealing with today, which is AI. Now, the AI, the Commission says that we need to form an AI institute. Now, once you have an institute, you are able to then say what are the specific and specialization areas that you need. And the 4IR report says that the AI needs to be embedded in a state, meaning that it needs to drive our economic sectors and our social sectors to a point that we realize the benefits of it. And there are two types of AI. There is what is called an applied AI. That is where you are able to enhance value chains and you are able to ensure efficiency. And then there is what is called generative AI. This is what is called a system which is a computer system that prompts what you're looking for. So it impacts on the issues of education, arts, and the languages. Now, what is it that we want to see with AI in South Africa? There are four things we want to see, and we have learned from the global perspectives. I'll deal with that tomorrow in terms of what are the global discourses. But there are four issues we want to see AI dealing with. The predictive nature of AI. For example, on the energy issues, whether the power stations are able to be monitored and be able to predict the weather, all those issues that requires prediction and real time. The second issue is the automated services. We are able to use AI for people not to fill in the forms and repeat the information, but there has to be a synergies in frontline services, and AI can be able to provide them. And then the third issue is on analytical abilities. Now, when we have to look at the planning process, AI is able to tell us what happened 10 years ago. It can go back to where the human mind cannot go and actually even focus what can be activated. And then the last one is in the diagnostic abilities, and particularly on the medical field and the legal field, where we are able to see where the problem lies and we can be able to fix it. So those are the four areas we're looking for AI to deal with. And there are three issues that are driving AI from South African perspective. Is the issue around the data or the data, as you can call it, but that's a packaging of information that can be able to speak to the machines, that can be able to be transmitted into the neural networks and be algorithmic so that they create that language. The third issue is the rising nature of computing power. Computers are now not one dimensional, are able to provide you with the biggest power capacity to store large information. And that it's related to artificial intelligence, which is got a twin, which is called the IoT. Now, in terms of the government side, we have to look at this in relation to the governance aspects that have to look at this phenomenon um, trend and also look at what are the politics around it, what are the issues around weaponization of AI that can fall into the wrong hands, and then say what are the laws that we must put in place and what are the regulations that we must put in place. Now, we have identified the country in relation to the what we call economic zones. So CUT is sitting in what we call the breadbasket of the country and is able to assist in relation to precision farming in terms of agriculture. So it will be a hub in which it will bring all the other initiatives that are related to agriculture and farming so that we can be able to provide local solutions. Now, that is the key aspect around it. Now, let's talk about the bit of agriculture. In the findings about AI, is that the AI is going to have an impact in what is called the service industry and manufacturing. 70% of that will be in those areas, but to less extent in the agriculture in terms of impacts on productivity and jobs. But what it will do, it will be able to raise this sector to be exponentially a feeder into the growth of society. So when you look at South Africa, you look at agriculture, it contributes 3% of the GDP. So meaning that the impact in on AI in terms of its growthness, it's magnificent and it needs to be looked at. Then there's also an issue around what are the enablers that we need to build, such as, you need internet access, but you need 5G as an enabler for AI to work effectively. So we need to put that infrastructure. We need also to look at the data management. What do you do with data? How do we take all this information, package it in a way? And for example, in closing, because tomorrow we'll be able to present this, is that there's a new industry models that are emerging as a result of this digital revolution, and particularly with AI. There is a, a business of the likes, the young people. 36 million of South Africans are under the age of 27 years old. And that is the Generation Z. And they have a new way of looking at industries such as likes, when you are being liked online, and then also the following, how many people follow you. If you look at the industry that is making a killing out of it, is the advertising industry. So how then do we able to accommodate these new industries and then also make sure? So I'm happy that we are incorporating the CUT AI hub as the third hub. We have the first one, which is the UJ in the manufacturing zone, and the second one was at TUT because of the automotive belt. The cars that are manufactured in Swane, in KZN, and in the Eastern Cape. And then we're going to launch after this a military one, a defense AI. We're going to launch it around April in military academy. We are ready into that. So I would like to welcome AI Hub, CUT, and we will be able to provide local solutions and able to provide IPs, addresses, and we are able to feed into the global agenda, particularly with a focus on Africa. Thank you a lot, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mashishi. You didn't tell them your very big title. He's Acting Deputy Director General, International Affairs and Trade at the department. Thank you very much, and see you tomorrow. Colleagues, we would like now to do the panel discussion, and taking off from what Mr. Mashishi has said, that we have more than 6 million young people, and if you tell them to do agriculture, they think it's a dirty job. So we at CUT would like to come up with innovations that make agriculture more appealing to the youth. So we'd like to open the panel discussion, and I want to start with my colleague who is on my right. He's from the Department of Agriculture, because eventually we're gonna host it in your, you'll lead us. So I'll ask general questions, but I'll let the panelists to respond as they see them, but as long as we keep it brief. So here's a question. Considering your expertise, Prof. Modise, in agriculture, how do you perceive the private sector's role in adopting AI to address current challenges in agriculture? We'd like the private sector to come on board.
Oh, thank you very much, Chairperson. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I'm Professor Sidibe, not Modise. Yes. Yes, actually, the collaboration with the industry is key for us in agriculture. As you know that in all the industrial revolution, agriculture is part of it because we have to produce, food, So, and also the partnership will help in identifying projects that are relevant to the industry. So, and also that are cost effective. As you know that the agricultural industry in South Africa is complex because with the farming communities, you have commercial farmers, you have also those who are still trying, and also you have those who are hobbyists, you see. So with the technology, it must be relevant to commercial farmers. It must also must be relevant to developing farmers. So, and also it must be user-friendly. Because also, remember with the increase in diesel, with the issues around electricity, you know. So we're looking for something that can be, we can able to use it in rural setup, you know. That means poor farmers must also be able to have access to such technology. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you, and sorry again for getting your name correct. I would like to address a youth in my midst. Her name is Victoria Niketu. She's currently doing her master's to develop a translation tool so that farmers can listen to early warning system using isiZulu. Victoria?
Good evening, everyone. So recently, I joined the Samsung Innovation Campus, which taught us about Python. So I would like to just talk about my experience, then I will talk about the app that I am developing. So with the experience, I'm going to talk about the Samsung Innovation Campus. It was very useful to me because I gained skills to develop solutions for artificial intelligence, whereby I can be able to develop a system that can be able to translate the English language to Sesotho or isiZulu for small-scale farmers, right? So with this app, we use the neural networking, which is artificial intelligence, whereby the app will translate the English language to Sesotho, but it will predict. It's not just a direct translation, but this app will predict the output of the information, all right? And I would really like to talk to the youth in joining the artificial intelligence, or rather by studying artificial intelligence, because it will open doors for them, and they will gain more experience in the computer world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Victoria. I would like to loop in the next youth in the room, the president of SRC. We would like you to explain, because people assume artificial intelligence only belongs to the Faculty of Engineering. So I'd like to hear from you, how do you see AI or this hub ensuring that we understand AI, not just engineering and health sciences, but also everyone else in the university from the student perspective? Over to you, President.
Thank you very much, Prof. And good evening to everyone. Oh, it's afternoon. For me, generally, I think what the institution might not be aware of is students at CUT in particular have been using AI, but they have not been using it past how they can be able to cheat in their assignments. But I guess I must be honest about the people I'm leading. I state that because it is the same with many other things that I knew. So now that there's an AI hub that will be at the institution, there's now an opportunity for them to see that you can actually use it past just assisting with your assignment. You can actually use it in the course that you are studying. You can use it outside. So with us, I was very happy actually when you saw the invitation. The deputy president actually was the one that wanted to come because she's studying computer networking, but because I also wanted to come, I had to use my powers and tell her she'll come next time. So for me, all I will say is, Povongoi, I do not want to lie to you. We are going to be annoying you like there's no tomorrow, because the biggest complaint about CUT students has always been we were the spectators of the higher education field. So now we see something that we are one of the first to have and claim as our own. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before I bring the discussion home, we are honored to have in our midst a professor from the University of Johannesburg. But some of us might think he's still a CUT professor. So, Professor, given your experience, especially in smart cities, we'd like you to give us a comment on
Of Masinde. And good evening. Good evening, Madam Vice Chancellor, and good evening, panelists. Actually, I was put on the spot by Prof. Masinde this afternoon, so I have to be very honest about it. But I'm always delighted to be back to CUT. Today actually marked 1 year that I left CUT. So coming back to the issue of artificial intelligence, I think, and smart cities, I know that today's theme revolves around agriculture and youth as well, youth empowerment within this agricultural space. But there is a strong correlation between sustainable consumption and production in cities and climate change. And as well, another nexus between the impact of climate change on agricultural produce. So there is a very strong nexus, okay? And this has to do with how do we monitor things like air quality? How do we look at the nature of the built environment? How do I put it? Carbon neutral built environment, carbon neutral city in a manner that is resilient, safe, and sustainable. So, and there are a plethora of studies that have been done and instances, cases that try to show us how we can leverage AI as a pivotal technology to drive other technologies. I think AI is the core of whatever we talk about fourth industrial revolution. AI sits at the pivot, because with AI we'll talk about things like blockchain. How do we apply blockchain? How do we look at Internet of Things, and how do we leverage it? Some other technologies, even the 3D printing, which CUT is renowned for, happily. So I come from University of Johannesburg, and that's I think we're saddled with leveraging AI to drive manufacturing. And it's quite interesting to look at, to see how CET is able to leverage its internal capabilities. I've been here, so I know about AI, I know what CET can do in terms of waste management, leveraging AI for waste management, circular economy, driving smart infrastructure, looking at biogas, okay? When we talk about AI, we look at our smart infrastructure, again, looking at how do we support, like my colleague Professor Sedibe had mentioned, how do we help rural farmers? And these things come with some of the good work Prof. Masinde is doing with regards to weather prediction and informatics to farmers, leveraging indigenous knowledge, and also looking at some of the work that has been done here around circular economy, urban farming, by Professor Van Hoosen and co. So I think it's there is potential for what has come to CET, and I wish to congratulate CET. I'm an alumni of CET, so I wish to congratulate CET on this stance, and I hope that this transits to something more phenomenal for the central region of South Africa. Thank you.
I'd like to keep the mic on that side. So we would like to bring the discussion to the deans, because each one of us in our concept, each faculty has a very critical role to play. And if you think about natural language processing, it can be applied anywhere. You can have machines that understand our natural language. We can hopefully talk to our crops. But more importantly, we are trying to focus, like the VC said, on preservation of our local languages. And the Dean of Faculty of Humanities, Prof. Wedi, would like to talk about that for a minute or so. Over to you, Prof.
Thank you, Program Director. VC, Professor Pamela Dube, my two DVC, Prof. Ngoi and Prof. Ngidi, honored guests who are here. Good evening. In response to the question, we know that language is a means of communication. And as a result, NLP will serve as a bridge between humanities and technology. Because NLP enables us to preserve endangered languages and dialects, keeping our cultural heritage alive for future generations. And NLP is a tool for cultural sustainability, ensuring that our diverse linguistic landscapes thrive in the digital age. Thank you.
That was sweet and nice. I would like to go to the Faculty of Management Sciences. One of the things we are looking at, I need to give you an example. I'm not fond of going to national parks, but we went Kruger National Park. We were woken up at 4 a.m. and we were sleepy, and 2 hours later we had not seen any animal. And I thought, this thing called smart tourism, they could have used sensors so that the vehicle drives exactly where the vehicle is. So from the humanities, from management sciences, we are looking at smart tourism, and representing the Dean of Faculty of Management Sciences is Prof. Kurt. Over to you.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Yes, I think so. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Yes, smart tourism is definitely something that we can look at. But also from a management perspective is also, we have all these wonderful technologies, but we still need to cultivate the soft skills of people so that they can get along with each other. And we still need to manage people together with the technologies. And I think that is where management science and also the sciences that understand human behavior comes in as well. So that we leverage the technologies, yes, use them, inform people about them, but that we also keep with the soft skills and the people dynamics and the intercultural understanding and all those types of things. And those are also things that can be leveraged by means of AI. So I think the opportunities are many. Yes, obviously, smart tourism is something that is more tangible, just like the example you mentioned now. And I'm actually I've actually got a huge project where I'm using junior academics, teaching them how to do science writing, and we're going to gauge into different industries how is AI likely to change the industries. And one of them will be tourism, it will also be hospitality management, and it will also be other industries that the people need to adapt to the technology. So that is basically my focus, or the focus of management sciences. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Naturally, we made the Faculty of Health Sciences, Health and Environmental Sciences last, because that's where the hub will sit. So on behalf of the Dean, we have Dr. Makhwale. He will talk to us about, we want to focus on drug discovery, but listening to what Tanya Bandile has said now, we may need to expand that, but you can comment on that, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, colleagues. Let me start by saying to our colleague from the government, through the use of artificial intelligence, as this is part of the response to the presidential call, CUT will embark on this opportunity to be the leading drug discovery in the country, so that we can be the leading university of technology by 2030. This is indeed, artificial intelligence role in us is a groundbreaking. It will offer us the opportunity to accelerate the development and the discovery of new medications and therapies. So at CUT, we aim to leverage artificial intelligence to tailor the discovery to the specific health needs and research that will actually address the future, even the future disease. Using artificial intelligence, we'll be able to predict when the next COVID-19 will happen and what type of strain will actually occur. So we'll be in a better position to develop drugs in that nature. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Doctor. I did mention that when we were preparing the concept that we'll be launching tomorrow, and we'll share, this is, after tomorrow it will become a public document. we will show how all the 4 anchors, smart manufacturing, smart tourism, agriculture, and natural language processing interact with each other. But I wanted to give the soldiers that were hunting with me in the field, these are the assistant deans for research and innovation. I don't need to pick any one of them. I see 2 of them sitting in front of me. But if they can comment on the theme of the roundtable tonight, the youth empowerment need to come out very strongly. And how do we ensure sustainability and social impact? Maybe the gentleman whose name I said instead of Sendibe, I don't know if Dr. Modise, you would want to make just 2 comments about the whole concept, how we've developed this, and how do you see it empowering the youth, or whichever option you choose. Over to you, Doc.
Thank you, Program Director, colleagues. In terms of empowering the youth, one, we need to focus on training, but it must be a continuous training to the youth in order to empower them in terms of artificial intelligence. But the critical issue here is to make sure that we focus in the rural areas. Because when we move, we must not move only with youth from the urban areas, but taking into account youth in the rural areas. So more focus must also be in the rural areas, not only in the urban areas. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. I'm not able to see who is online, but I would have wished to see if there are any Q&A that we respond to. I can't see online. Last one? Okay. Okay. Then I would like to bring it to a close by putting my current boss on the spot. Professor Gidi, when the SRC president said they are ahead of us, they are using us to cheat and do exams, and we know that the university is about teaching and learning, and we never mentioned you anywhere. It was by choice, so that you can redeem us and just wrap it up for us for conclusion. And I'm sorry for putting you on the spot. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. Mr. President, I want to assure you that your ChatGPT that you are using to do your assignments, we are already ahead of you in terms of how to make sure that that does not happen. And maybe because you are also part of MENCOM, Prof. Ngo will be making a presentation on Monday on ChatGPT. So watch the space on Monday. Thank you.
Okay, and with that, we consider that the closing remarks, and I would like to thank everyone. It was brief, we couldn't give everyone a chance to speak, but we have the launch tomorrow, and we will be following up with high-resolution signature video that captures everything to represent what CUT AI Hub is all about. Thank you and good evening. And we are serving some refreshments, so please don't take off. Thank you and see you tomorrow. Bye.